Most of us assume the fear that stops us is the worry about what other people will think. But there are people who create completely in private. No one will ever see their work, and still they hesitate. So something else is going on. I want to do three things in this video. I want to name what that fear actually is, explain why it has nothing to do with art itself, and then give you an 8-step checklist for you to make something today to start working against that thing that's stopping you. The first thing to understand is what the fear actually is. Think about the last time you sat down to make something and couldn't begin. Listen to what the voice was actually saying. For most, the voice isn't saying, people aren't going to like this, or my family are going to judge me. It's something closer than that. The voice is implying, what if I try and I hate it? What if I put in the effort and it still doesn't look right? What if I try my best and my best isn't good enough? None of those things are about anyone else's opinion. Every single one of them is about yours. So, if no one is watching, what are we afraid of? We're afraid of disappointing ourselves. And that fear is so powerful because if it happens, if you try and you don't like what you make, the voice takes it as proof. Proof that it was right all along. And that's a very hard thing to come back from. So the safer choice feels like not trying at all. So that's what the fear is. Do you see the difference? It's not about what someone else might think. It's about thinking that your efforts aren't good enough. Now, I want to explain where this is coming from, because once you actually understand that, the fear loses most of its power. People treat this fear like it's a problem with their skill. Like if I just get a little bit better, if I get a little bit more practice, that voice will settle down. But it doesn't work that way. Why? Because the fear isn't really about the art or your creativity. I started making art about 10 years ago, and what happened was I was mom 24/7, and at some point I started to feel like I had lost myself. So I needed to find something that was just for me. Not for the kids, not for the house, just somewhere where I could hear myself thinking again. Somewhere where I could belong to myself again. And that's what the craft table is for a lot of us. Some of us have spent decades belonging to someone else. Children, partners, jobs, parents. And an art journal, something you work on in the corner of your kitchen, this might be one of the only places in your entire day where you're not in service of someone else's needs. That's not a small thing. That's something huge. So when you sit down and that voice shows up and says that you're not good enough, you're wasting your time, and this doesn't look right, who are you to even think that you can do this? That voice isn't talking about the art journal in front of you. It's asking whether you deserve to take up space at all. And that's why the fear is so loud. Because if you try and you don't like what you make, it feels like an answer to that question. It feels like proof you didn't deserve that space in the first place. But here's what I want you to understand. That voice is not telling you the truth. And the art, good, mediocre, somewhere in between, is not the point. The point is the return to yourself. Once you see that, the question changes. It's no longer, how do I make better art? It's, how do I keep showing up? So here's how you fight back against that voice, because you can't argue it down. What works is something else entirely. You build a body of proof. This is a glue book. Every page in here is something that I finished. Some of them I love, some I don't, and that's not the point. The point is that each page is evidence. Evidence that I showed up, evidence that I sat down at the table and I didn't get back up. An art journal isn't a gallery. It's not meant to be impressive. It's a record. It's a stack of proof that you kept coming back to yourself. This is why in my videos I talk so much about permission to make mediocre art, about releasing perfectionism. Underneath all of that is this same idea. The output is not the point. The stack of proof is the point. So I want to provide you with something concrete, because I know for some of you the hardest part is just starting. But before we get to that, if you are enjoying this video, please do hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you'd like more of this kind of content. It's one of the best ways to encourage me to keep making videos like this. Now, onto the checklist, shall we? And I created a little PDF download. If you would like to have this list in printed form, feel free to get the link in the description. So here are 8 steps. And don't think about this whole thing about a project, like, oh my gosh, I need to complete an entire project. Think of it as incremental steps, and you just complete one and move on to the next. And the first one is to choose a small blank journal. Maybe you already have one. Maybe you have a little junk journal, something that you've made in the past. You could use that. Maybe you've got a notebook. You could also use something like an old calendar. This has got pages in it, right? You could even tear stuff out if you wanted to and just use this as the foundation, the base of any kind of art journaling or collaging that you do. So something old. If you don't have any of those things, you can make something super simple with finding the size that you want, maybe some old postcards, and then just folding papers the size that you want. I'm going to choose this as my little journal. This is the page that I'm going to do. Okay, so the next step is break the page, mark it, add a stamp, anything that it means that it's no longer blank. So I could do something like this, just get ink and maybe put some marks on it this way. I could also just get a pen or a pencil and maybe doodle. If you like to do particular designs, you could do something like that as well, right? And you could even start with something like this, and if you happen to cover it up, no big deal, right? The whole point is that you just do something on the page. I'm going to do this blue. Okay, that's good. Good enough. I can always go back and add more later if I want. All right, now choose one piece that you are drawn to right now. Don't overthink it. Just one thing that catches your eye. You can also choose one of these cigarette cards, and that's what I think I'm going to do. I like this blue. I'm kind of going with a blue theme already, so let me take off one of these. Okay, next, choose 2 or 3 other papers. Pick what feels like it belongs with the first piece. Okay, so I just grabbed a little stack of papers out of my pile, just kind of random stuff, and I'm going to see what works. Let's see. Well, I've got a photo that might be interesting. Perhaps I could use that. I like this. Maybe I'm going to use this as well. Choose 2 or 3 other papers. Okay, so I've already chosen 2. Let's see if I can do something just with those 2. All right, now arrange everything loosely is step number 5. Move it around before you commit. Don't glue anything yet. Okay, so let me set this stuff on the side. And, okay, this is going to fit on the page, but this is not. So how much do I want to tear off? Let's go through this. I might use this as well, so we'll see about that. Like that. think I'm going to cut off some of this. It's too much, so let me just tear it. Okay, because I want it to slide over there, so let me do that. This seems a little bit too big. Let me cut off some of this. Okay. So I think I want to add one more piece of paper. I want to add something that goes down the whole length underneath these two pieces, because I have a gap up here and there's a space here and a space here. So I think I want to tie it together with something. So I want something vertical. I have numbers. I could do that. Let's try and see if that's going to do it. Take it off. Try again. This. There. Next is to glue it down. So let's just do that. All right, step 7 says, step back and look. If something's bothering you, try one small thing. If nothing's bothering you, then you're done. So is there anything else that I want to add? No, I think I'm actually good. So last is to put a date on it. And this is my page for the day. The voice that tells you that you're not good enough is not telling you the truth. You don't need to make anything impressive. You just need to make something and then do it again and again until the pages pile up and you have all the proof that you need. You do deserve to take up this space, and an art journal is how you prove it to yourself. If this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And if you're still thinking about things and wondering what is the purpose of an art journal, that's what this video is about right here. So I hope to see you over there.